Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Tuesday and all today's guests, including Craig Button, standing by. Brought to you by the Bayside Oceanfront Resort. Book your stay at the Bayside. Enjoy the many amenities the hotel has to offer, such as oceanfront rooms, free parking, oceanfront restaurant, cafe, indoor and outdoor swimming pools, gym, and more. We're going to see those pictures again? I guess not. Call 250-248-8333 or go to their website, Bayside.ResortParksville.com. Canucks losing to the Kings 3-2 last night at Rogers Arena. We bring in TSN Scouting Director Craig Button. Craig, thanks for doing this. How are you?
I am good. Do you remember Kramer on Seinfeld? He had his coffee table book.
Yes.
I'm just thinking about. I see so much, remote work, Zoom work, and everything. And everybody's wearing AirPods, right?
Yeah.
And they're white. So, what do you guys think of this idea that now Apple makes AirPods that can fit the complexion of your face and the coloring of your face? What do you think? So it just doesn't show up white all the time.
I think I like it. I think Kramer's coffee table book was a good idea. Is what I think. Yeah. Maybe they can make an episode of Curb from that. Although that shows that shows ending too. Hey Craig, last night Kings in town over the Canucks 3-2. Canucks have had trouble with that team. They're so defensively minded. They've won 4 straight now, 1 point behind Edmonton. People in Vancouver are worried about the Kings. How tough an out would the Kings be in the playoffs?
When they play that defensive style of game where they don't give you very much ice, they don't give you any really what I call, you don't even get room to change your mind. And certainly, when you think about playoff hockey and you think about the ability to really suffocate an opponent, that's what it takes. And LA earlier in this year, were great at that. And then it fell off. They made the coaching change, but they're back to that now. And when you come to the playoffs, being able to play that way and do it shift after shift after shift, period after period after period, leads to success. And I think that the LA Kings they're really putting themselves into a position where they have to play that way to get back into the race. It's interesting, Donnie, that you talk about like Edmonton. Like I thought they were locked and loaded for second place in the division. Not locked and loaded anymore. I mean, Edmonton was now looking at, maybe we can catch Vancouver. I don't think that's there, but second place is not a lock anymore for Edmonton because of how well the LA Kings. I think anybody playing the LA Kings should be ready for a tight defensive battle where you're going to have to really grind it out for every inch of space that you're going to try to get.
Hanze Kopitar, Craig, a goal and an assist last night. He's now tied for 50th all-time in NHL points, I believe, with Vincent Damphousse. He's 36 years old. What's made him so effective for so long?
I think there's any number of things. Number one, he's a really smart player. I mean, you think about defensive play, you think about embodying not just the offensive side of things, which Hanze has been outstanding at, but the defensive side of the game. He's big, he's long, he leans into you, he's hard to play against, and he's lost no competitive edge even at this age. Is he the same player that he was even 3-4 years ago? No, but because he's so smart, because he's so competitive, he is able to impact the game in significant ways. I mean, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer for me. He's going right in. There's going to be a statue of him outside the arena in LA, whatever the name of it is in that time. But to me, just that all-around hard game. And you think about Hanze, you think about somebody, any coach that's had him has never been hesitant about putting him up against the other team's best player, about putting him into those demanding situations. And Hanze has delivered at every turn.
Craig, I want to stay with the Canucks. I want to get your thoughts on this. There are words leaking out that Filip Hronek might be looking for $8 million as on his new deal. He's an RFA. I mean, personally, Craig, I don't know how any defenseman in this city can make a penny more than Quinn Hughes. But when you look at Hronek, do you see an $8 million defenseman?
No, I don't. Listen, I think that we watched how good the pairing of Chris Tanev and Quinn Hughes was when Quinn Hughes was coming into the league, and it was really good. And then we saw, the benefits that other players could not accrue by playing with Quinn Hughes. I give great credit to the Vancouver Canucks for looking for that complementary type defender to play with Quinn Hughes. And certainly Filip Hronek has that ability. If it starts with an 8, you know what I'm doing? Nice having you, Philip. Bye-bye. Good luck to wherever you want to go.
Yeah, big time. Big time. Hey, on Thursday...
That's where I'm going. Yeah. I totally agree with you. Not one penny more than Quinn. Quinn Hughes makes everybody better. And you've got to be able to take advantage of that. Give Filip Hronek like what he's been able to, what he was able to do there. Take advantage in a free agent year. It's all great, but you have to be ready and willing to walk away from players. I think the same thing is happening with Elias Lindholm. I think they've asked for money, and I would not pay Elias Lindholm one penny more than JT Miller. Like JT Miller is an emotional barometer to me for this Vancouver Canucks team. So Elias, if you're asking for anything more than JT Miller, good luck to wherever is going to give it to you, because you're not getting it from us.
All right, on Thursday, when the Stars come to town, there's going to be a kid from Kamloops, Logan Stankoven. Boy, oh boy, 14 games in Dallas, 6 goals, 5 assists, 11 points, ripped it up in Texas to the American Hockey League. You know what, Craig? He has just been absolutely phenomenal since he got to the Stars.
Everything's bigger in Texas, even Logan, who's not that big. Logan's been a brilliant player. I remember Rick and Donnie, at the first time I saw him play, I knew he was a high pick in the Western Hockey League. He came to Hockey Canada's U17 camp. He was 16 years of age. And, this is your first chance to watch players, and there's over 100 kids there. And you kept picking up your head. Who's that kid with the puck? Who's that kid with the puck? It was Logan Stankoven all the time. What he did in Kamloops, what he did with the world, what he did with Canada's World Junior team, what he did at all the events, what he did in the American Hockey League as a rookie, what he's doing now in the National Hockey League. Just don't doubt Logan Stankoven. And I'll be straightforward with you. I know in his draft year, I underestimated him. There's certain players that because they're so productive, they're so smart, they're so competitive, and they have lots of skill, just don't underestimate them. Don't look at the individual skills. He might not be the fastest guy. We know he's not the biggest guy. He might not have the hardest shot, but the whole is so much greater than the sum of the parts, and he's got so many elements in his game that make him a really strong player, and certainly the Dallas Stars picking him in the second round. Jason Robertson was a second-round draft pick. Logan Stankoven, they have hit big time on second-round draft picks.
Okay, earlier you mentioned statues. You mentioned a statue, Craig. But last week in Dallas, the Stars unveiled a Mike Modano statue. If I'm not mistaken, you were in the Minnesota North Stars scouting department when he was drafted first overall in '88. Trevor Linden drafted second overall in '88. Did he actually exceed expectations? What a player Mike Modano was.
Well, the only reason he got drafted was because of me, Donnie. Yeah, right. I had this much to do with that. I give Lou Nanne a tremendous amount of credit. He was an outgoing general manager, and Trevor was such a mature player and a really good player. And what Louis really pointed out to the group in Minnesota was players like Mike Modano come along with that type of skill. They're very rare. I wouldn't say that when you're drafted first overall and the expectations that go with being drafted first overall, that your expectations aren't high, that somebody that can turn around your franchise. Mike did exactly that. I mean, he came into Minnesota. Our team moved down to Dallas. He was unbelievable. And certainly his numbers, his record of achievement, not only individually but with teams, I think speak volumes. And so what I would say, Donnie, is I wouldn't say he exceeded it. He met enormous expectations. And when we went down to Dallas, I mean, we were really lucky. I mean, first of all, Troy Aikman and the Dallas Cowboys ruled the town. But we came in there. We had a rugged team. We had some really good, strong, hard players. Mark Tenorti. We had Darian Hatcher. We had Shane Shirley who played. But we had Mike. And Mike was that great American player with the great looks, and he was a superstar. And Troy Aikman was there for the Cowboys. And it's not something you can plan, but it was something that we certainly benefited from. I was there in Dallas when they unveiled the statue, and it certainly captured Mike in all his essence. How I put it with Mike was a superstar in the National Hockey League. He was a shooting star for hockey in Dallas.
This was a good hit, Craig. It would have been better if you had different colored earpods. But, other than that, it was just fine.
Just to match the complexion. Somebody might say, put a bag over your head, Craig. That would really help.
They say that to us all the time. Thanks, Craig. Next week.
Have a great day.